Hello, fellow Saggies. Thank you for being here and for being my volunteer guinea pigs on my first video of this series. I am going to do a 2020 outlook for you all for your specific sun sign, or you need to look at the other aspects of your chart as well. You may not be a Sagittarius sun sign, but you might have it in your moon and rising. You might have it elsewhere in your chart. So I'm going to put a link below for a free tool. I've mentioned it before on my videos, but I've never actually shared it. If you want to just quick access, I believe it's Cafe Astrology, but I'm going to look that up and share that for you down there so that you can look up other aspects of your chart. This is a general reading. So take what resonates, toss the rest. If this doesn't resonate, again, you might have more water throughout your chart. So let's say Pisces is something that's strong in your chart. That might be the one, particular reading that you want to look at. Now, you guys know my busy schedule. 12 of these is going to be quite the feat to get done, but I'm going to do as much as I can to try to get these all out. And I'm planning on, we'll see unless the energy calls me otherwise, to go in order of the zodiac, but I'm starting with Sag just because that's the energy we're in right now. I feel like that might help me get a better hang of it as far as establishing how I want to do this reading, because this is something, the first time I'm doing it. So we're just going to see what happens. Now, before I get started, I believe this is a rainbow moonstone pyramid, but this wanted to be here. I actually just happened to find it today when I was cleaning, and I just think it's so pretty, and it's shining in the light over here. So we'll see what comes out. Now, what I'm planning on doing, you guys, is I'm going to do my normal spread that I typically do when I do the element group, monthly forecast that I was doing for a while. So I'm going to do that with setting the intention that it's going to kind of give us an overview of what your year has been like, what your 2019 was like, and kind of where your energy is right now, and some of the goals maybe that you have and that you're wanting to bring in for this new year. And then we're also going to look at what changes you can expect in 2020 and the theme that is showing up for you for the year. Once we do that, if that's resonating, then we're going to do an extended version on Vimeo. I'm going to post the link to that below, and that will be a charge of $7.77. If you guys didn't hear, my announcement on my page and previously, I was strongly called when I was in Sedona, to start charging something for these readings that I'm doing, because I was getting some messages that my energy was out of balance, that, I'm giving too much, and that's too much of a wounded energy, and that I need to open myself up to receptivity, and therefore charge partially for these services. So I've tried to find the best approach I can, and I feel like $7.77 is pretty nominal if something is really resonating with your situation. So hopefully this all works out. Again, I joined Vimeo. I haven't uploaded anything to it. So, but obviously I'm going to make sure the extended is uploaded first and plays before I post this first part. So with that being said, let me pray my cats. They just ate, that they don't run around like maniacs, but it is what it is, guys. All right. Just for you guys, listen to masters, please. Messages for Sagittarius. What is going on with Sagittarius for 2019, 2020? What is their outlook? Saggies. What's going on with Saggies? Oh, there we go. It's not wanting to come out. All right. And I also forgot to mention, too, that in the extended, if we don't get much about a romantic situation for you, if we get predominantly, let's say, career, then we will pull some romance cards in the extended, or vice versa, just to give you kind of a full overview in all aspects to see what the year holds. Okay. Wow. Wow, you guys, this is really beautiful. This is really, really beautiful. Wow, I'm not surprised to see this card. Not at all. Not at all. Okay. All right. Let's see here. So, Saggies, what I'm getting for you from this year is that there has been some difficulties, more in the beginning of the year. I'm getting that there was more, some uncertainty perhaps in your journey and with where you were headed on your path. And you know now, I think you've put in the effort into yourself. You've done a lot of working on yourself. You've got the Six of Pentacles here. Learning, going out and maybe developing new skills and getting more involved in maybe the community or um, things that have to do with your career, or if you're in college, things that you're having to study. You just really put that effort into yourself. And I think that in shifting that focus, I think in the beginning of the year, I'm getting more towards June, I guess would make sense because we've got two sixes here. By the time you've got, to this towards the summer this year, you've kind of felt like you were moving into calmer waters, Six of Swords. You were getting some more direction on where you were going. You were feeling more confident on your path because of the work and the foundation that you've laid for yourself. And what I'm getting though, there's maybe been some frustration that your ultimate achievement hasn't happened yet, right? You've been working really hard towards it this year, but it's you're not quite out of that, maybe I don't want to say storm, but tumultuous sort of energy at times, because there's this sort of frustration that your dreams haven't completely manifested yet because you have been putting in the work, and then sometimes you're just like, I want to give up. When is this when is this going to be here? When is it time? The Ace of Pentacles is blocking you from kind of moving out of that swords energy at times, and kind of going back and forth. I feel like dabbling in between, maybe doubting, like I think I've said, like doubting your path, trusting your path. There's sort of been this wavering energy in 2019, which I think has been common for many people, not even, Sagittarius, but just others across the board who are, on this journey. And, what you're wanting, I'm getting, not only the manifestation of, well, of all your dreams in the physical, right? But, particularly, um, you're wanting to see some sort of a payoff in the career sector. But I'm also getting that this is more too about just a solid relationship with somebody where each party is putting in equal parts, because you Three of Pentacles, that's sort of my teamwork card. So and we'll see why I'm getting some relationship too. But honestly, I'm getting a lot of with all the pentacles here, I am getting career as well. So this could be too, a job situation where maybe there's been some tumultuous energy. It's maybe not the most fulfilling, ultimate pinnacle you would want for yourself, the ultimate career. And you're wanting to find something that is more balanced and is, wherever all the parties involved are putting in all the teamwork and the effort, because the Six of Pentacles is also an effort card. But you have shown tenacious strength through this process. You have grown. I'm getting that by the time we got to August, we got to Leo season, right? You've got strength. There was a lot of shifts that took place for people. I think especially Sag. I know I'm a Sag, and I feel like once Leo season came, and maybe it's that fire energy because, we're fire signs just like Leo, there was really this shift and kind of like, I've got this. I'm going to slay these demons. See this? I'm going to slay this. Whatever this snake is that's holding me back, I know now. I know what my path is. I've had this kind of, wavering energy at times, these doubts, these fears, and it's time to move forward. Okay. And I think too, there was this major shift that took place for many with Lionsgate this year, but then I think there was still underlying that some changes and some things that many of us weren't willing to face. It was literally requiring the death of our existence as we knew it. The 3D template, the 3D reality, the patterns, the routines, toxic things, not wanting to admit or let go of these things because it was so ingrained and it was such a normal part of life, right? So many of us had a divine intervention, the Tower, that sort of catapulted us forward once we got towards the fall. Once we got past Lionsgate and we kind of thought, oh yeah, you know, we've had these shifts. I'm noticing shifts. If you're on the twin flame journey, I'm noticing shifts in my counterpart. They're starting to awaken. I've got this in the bag. I don't really need to work that much more on myself. I'm just going to go live it up or whatever and kind of just coast, you know, throughout the rest of the year. And then it's, you know, major wake up call. Something happens. It could have been, you know, if you were in a job situation that, you know, where you weren't happy, you might have lost your job. You may have gotten, you know, moved to a different department. Um, Something like that happened that forced the change that maybe you weren't willing to make. There could have been an illness, there could have been a car accident, there could have been another sort of accident, kind of like what happened with me. For those of you who watched, you know, that part of my those part of my videos, you know, there was some sort of a death, and I'm not surprised at all to see this. Scorpio season brought that about. You know, a death, a literal transformation. Oh my God, you guys. I don't know if I've noticed this before. It's not ringing a bell right now, but if you guys followed me back then, you remember I talked a lot about the phoenix rising from the ashes, that those were the messages I was getting, and all these other people channeling all this phoenix stuff came out right around the time that this started happening, these tower moments. And look, we have a phoenix here with the reaper bringing about, you know, you were literally brought to your knees by something, some sort of, you know, action, some event happened that forced a change within you, and within the reality that you knew. And it was absolutely devastating. It was devastating. You know, it could have been a betrayal in a relationship, or just facing like the death of your old self. It's very, very hard. But it's necessary. It brings about this growth to get you to the precipice. You're almost to the castle. You're almost to the end. And you've got, you guys can't make this stuff up. Hermit, many of us after this happened, now the current energy is we're in hermit mode. We're in hermit mode, working on ourselves, healing, self-love, maybe overcoming addictions. Okay, overcoming addictions and looking for the light in this situation. The Ten of Swords is about completion, facing the pain, facing the triggers. Okay. Now what's coming as a result of this, you're starting to become more stable. Four of Wands is a card about stability. It's a card of marriage. It's the twin flame card. These things all had to happen to set you up for the next phase, to bring balance, Two of Pentacles, into be it your career or be it this romantic relationship. But I'm definitely getting romantic relationship here for many of you, because you've got a reunion. You've got the Six of Cups. We've got 3 sixes here. That's why I feel like there was a pivotal shift that happened for many in June. The Lionsgate came in, and then Scorpio season. So if that's resonating, and then the outcome where we're heading, where we're looking, is the Three of Cups. We're looking towards that celebration. We're looking towards, you know, this is marriage. This is commitment. This is just a beautiful celebration. A family. It could just be family coming together. So this looks to be some beautiful energy for Saggies for 2020. So what we're going to do quickly then is we're going to look at what changes are going to be coming in 2020 for Sag, and then we're going to dive more into this, into the in-depth reading, once we go over there. But this just to see if it resonates before you click on it and, you know, pay. If this doesn't resonate, then there's no need to do that. So what changes are coming for Sagittarius in 2020? That's interesting. Get one more, please. Wow. Okay, so that's a pretty strong theme. Okay, so we've got that. And then that's the changes. And then we're going to look at the theme. Changes and the theme coming for Saggy for 2020. Whoa, that one. Did you guys see that? Wow. Okay. So, so we got adult children and parental care. So that's very interesting. I think some of you, you may have children that are about to become adults. You may have children that you're caring for and that you're going to be caring for into their adulthood. Possibly, you know, maybe they have disabilities, or they're not stable on their own. So that's something that you're maybe facing and looking for some guidance, when we get into the in-depth reading. We've also got parental care. So you could be in a situation where you have parents that are aging, that you may be having to step up and help with that, or you may be just concerned about their health, and maybe there's some positive changes coming, or ways that this situation can be healed. It could just be to a family situation, as far as some childhood wounds that still need to come up. Even though we are adults, we still have childhood wounds that can get triggered in us and that need to get healed. So that might be why we're getting the adult children card. And parental care could be that the lack of care from your parents as a child, is something that triggered these wounds in you. So I'm not sure which one of these, are going to come out on the in-depth side, but we're going to look into that. Vibrations was the theme. Look at this. This is beautiful. So I think for many in 2020, it's going to be, there's going to be awakenings. There's going to be just an overall increase in your vibration. And I think that's due to all the work you've done in 2019, because you have had the tower moments. You've had the death. You've stayed strong. You have transformed your old self into the new. And that is bringing about balance. It's bringing about stability. It's bringing about reunions with someone that you love, coming back, or someone from a past life, soulmate, somebody. There's going to be some sort of celebration. It looks like, high vibrational energy is coming in based on the healing and work you've done in 2019. So, like I said, we are going to go over to Vimeo and look into this from an extended standpoint. If you are coming over, think of a question that you want to ask, in your mind, if this was a personal reading, a yes, no, a timing, something like that. I have angel answers cards that I used on my page today, actually. So I will pull those, not knowing your specific question, but we'll just see if that resonates at all. We'll pull a few of those when we go over there. So I will see you guys on the other side. Thanks.